Every day there are fires that start small but destroy someone's home. Here's how to avoid it. Nearly 3,000 people die each year from fires that could have been prevented. The secret is getting to them as quickly and as early as possible. Some people will tell you it's not a big deal. Just put a lid over it or use baking soda. The fact is, a lot of people are uncomfortable trying to put out a fire that way, or the fire has reached a point where those methods just won't work. Here's something that will work every single time. It's the Vapor Clean Fire Spray from Prepared Hero. Take a look at how easy it is. Just remove the safety tab, point, and spray. Just that simple. It looks like magic. A simple tool that anybody can realistically use to protect their home from a sudden fire. That's something people have asked for forever, and Prepared Hero has delivered. It's genius. You can use it on grease fires, wood fires, electrical fires, flammable liquids. You can even spray it on your body to protect you from fire or extinguish a fire with no harmful effects. It's completely non-toxic and safe for the environment. It's pet safe too. Store it in a cabinet, a car, a garage. Take it on camping trips. Unlike huge, messy extinguishers, it's easy to clean up, and anybody from grandparents to grandkids can protect your home with it. The Vapor Clean Fire Spray is approved and recommended by firefighters across the country who worked with Prepared Hero to bring you the safest, fastest fire safety tool possible. Buy them in bundles and save tons of money. They make great gifts for friends and family. Don't go another day without having an easy, safe way to put out a sudden fire. Click below for availability and get the Vapor Clean Fire Spray today. Are you on a keto diet and craving all those wonderful foods you gave up and thought you could never eat again? Many people who don't know much about keto diets assume that there are certain foods that you just cannot eat. But there are new products emerging all the time that are specifically designed to be keto friendly. Yay! What does that mean exactly? They have really, really low carb counts because that's what keto is all about. The keto diet is a low-carb, high-fat diet that shifts the body's metabolism away from carbs and towards fat and ketones. You basically count three things. Number 1, carbs. Number 2, fat. And number 3, protein. A standard keto diet is typically 70% fat, 20% protein, and 10% carbs. If you love ice cream like I do, there are now lots of keto-friendly ice creams out there. Either these didn't exist a year ago, or it took me that long to find them. My favorite so far is a brand called Rebel. But I do also indulge in Breyer's Carb Smart Vanilla Bars, which have only 5 grams of net carbs. My store was totally out of them this week, which prompted me to give Rebel another shot. The pluses? You get to eat ice cream because they have extremely low carb counts. Oh, today, July 18th, 2021, is actually National Ice Cream Day. All the more reason to celebrate. Now for the bad news. Wah, wah, wah. Many of the ice creams have a weird powdery taste to them. I thought this might be brand specific, meaning all the flavors from a certain brand have this issue. But I recently found out that some flavors have this more than others within the same brand. For example, the Strawberry Rebel ice cream has no powdery flavor at all, while the vanilla does. Another issue, because the carb count is so low, you'll be tempted to eat an entire pint since it's only 6 grams of carbs. But this means you're also getting everything else that comes with it. With Rebel Strawberry, that's 520 calories and 245 milligrams of cholesterol. So don't go crazy. So if you're on the keto, as I've been for the past year, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how many good things people are inventing just for people like us. I'm sure it's becoming a huge industry, and I'm happy to contribute to its success if it means I can eat more tasty things, like ice cream. Now go and have some ice cream, and thanks for watching. Ordering Colorsmith is quick and easy. All I had to do was go to their website and answer a handful of questions for them to create my custom color. Things like my hair color, how much gray I have, where the gray is, and whether I want it totally gone or just partially colored. Easy things like that. And then bingo, my custom color kit arrived in a matter of days, ready to apply and cover my gray. My Colorsmith custom color hair color case just arrived. How exciting. But before I get started, let me tell you what's included. The custom color bottle, which you mix with the developer. It even has your name on it. Developer, which you mix with the color itself before applying it. A comb for the application of the color. Gloves to protect my hands. A kit box, which contains 4 things. Stain guard to prevent staining my skin. Stain remover in case I do get color on my skin, and shampoo and conditioner for cleaning and conditioning my hair after applying the color. And finally, personalized instructions, because who doesn't want a simple, easy to follow guide, especially if it's your very first time coloring your hair. Everything I need for a quick at-home application. Now it's time to read through the instructions and start the coloring process. The first step is to apply the stain guard onto your hairline and around your mustache and beard so that color doesn't get on your skin, but you have to be careful not to get it onto the hair itself. So I'm getting as close as possible to the hairline. I've done this before with my beard, and I know what happens if you get it on the hair doesn't get colored. So you basically just rub it in, all on the hairline. But not on the hair itself. And that step is done. If you're doing your beard and your hair, you always start with the beard. So that's the next step. Once I've mixed the color, I squirt out a little bit onto a gloved hand. And I start working it into the beard. Careful not to use too much because I still have to do my entire head of hair. Easy enough. Once the beard's done, now it's time to color my hair itself. So I start at the hairline and squeeze out color along here and start working it through the hair itself. I'm going to do the sides next because that's where I have the most gray. Oops. And then you basically start moving backward in kind of what appear to be vertical lines. Front to back, front to back, front to back. And then I start working that through the hair with my gloved hand to fully saturate the hair. Okay, so it looks like the top is basically done. Now I'm going to address the back, which you're not going to be able to see, but I'm basically creating vertical lines going down the back of my head and kind of rubbing them in. So far, so good. I don't want to go too far down on the back of my neck because I imagine I would get color all over my neck, and I did not put color guard on the back of my neck. For some reason, I didn't think about that. Put some more on the sides here. Okay, so that is the color application itself. So rather than just use my hands, I decided I am going to use the comb just to make sure the hair is fully saturated. So you just basically comb through it all around your head. Okay. I think that's good to go. And now I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes because that's how long I have to leave it in. So as I'm waiting my required 30 minutes, a couple observations. The stain guard, you might want to put it on the tips of your ears because I noticed I got color on my ears very easily. And then back of your neck, probably, I'm not sure what that's going to look like when this is all said and done because I couldn't see how far down I was going with the color. And then finally, because I was doing my beard and my beard is pretty full, I thought I was actually going to run out of color, but after applying it, I probably have at least a third of a bottle left, which I can't reuse obviously, but I was overly concerned with running out and not being able to do all of my hair, but that didn't happen. So I probably got about 20 minutes or so left, and I will check back in when I'm done. Checking in at the 20-minute point, as you can see, the gray is slowly but surely disappearing. Just 10 more minutes to go before I rinse this all out. The timer just went off, so my 30 minutes of processing is over. The next step is for me to jump in the shower, add a little bit of warm water to the color, work it into a lather, and then rinse it until the water runs clear. Then I apply the shampoo to wash out any additional color, and then finally apply the conditioner to lock in my color. And here we are with the results. Definitely an easier process than I expected, and my hair looks and feels great. It's a nice, very natural looking dark brown. The beard is not so dark that it looks fake. So definitely happy with the results. I think next time I will focus a little bit more on the color around the edges so there aren't flecks of white on the beard. But overall, very impressed with the Colorsmith coloring process. Santa here. I saw that you wrote a new house on your Christmas list, but then crossed it off. Is there a problem? You're not waiting for a better time to sell your house and move into a new home, are you? Listen, 2021 has been a year of uncertainty, but one thing is true. And you know I don't lie. Now is a great time to sell your home for multiple reasons. And here they are. Number one, housing inventory is low, even in the North Pole. Since the pandemic began, there has been low inventory across the nation, so there's a lot of pent-up demand from homebuyers, like little Cindy Lou Who in Whoville. This makes it a great time to sell your home. Number two, mortgage interest rates are still very low. This is another reason there are many motivated buyers looking for properties. Number three, across the country, median home list prices are getting higher and higher. The median national home list price was up 8.6% in November 2021 compared to a year ago. That means that sellers are still getting premium prices for their homes. And number four, based on national data, the typical home spent only 47 days on the market in November 2021, down 10 days from the same time last year and down 23 days from 2019. Unlike turtles racing and your dial-up internet, homes are selling fast. So start baking those cookies for your upcoming showings and open houses, and leave some out for me, of course, preferably keto friendly, because I'm a carb conscious Santa. Ho ho ho! Have a great holiday, and thanks for watching. They get a really bad rap, but nearly a quarter of all Americans are part of one, and those that are actually seem to like them. I'm talking about HOAs. HOA stands for Homeowners Association, and there's over 350,000 of them in the US. Before buying a property that is part of an HOA, you really should do your homework to make sure it's the right long-term decision. Let's talk about a few of the pros and cons to consider. Let's start with the pros. Pro number one is that your neighborhood will probably look better because of the HOA. An HOA's primary function is to keep a community to a particular standard to protect property values. Because of this, they'll create and enforce rules about things like lawn standards, paint colors, and other property maintenance and upgrade decisions you may make. The result is usually a clean and uniform look to your neighborhood. Another pro is the amenities that come with your HOA. Things like pools, trails, and other shared spaces can be included in your agreement. These are exclusive to your HOA and are not available to the general public. Along with those shared amenities may also be shared maintenance costs. Not only will those shared spaces be maintained by the HOA, but some or all of the lawn care may be as well. In many people's eyes, this is one of the main benefits of an HOA. Not having to worry about maintaining beautiful landscaping can be a huge relief. Trust me, after cutting the same lawn for 15 years, it wasn't that much fun anymore. Now let's talk about some of the cons, the biggest one being the dues. The money to take care of all of those beautiful spaces and amenities has to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is your pocket. By entering into an HOA agreement, you'll be legally responsible for yearly dues that keep the HOA running. The amount of those dues will depend on the amenities and general scope of your HOA. Another con is the lack of freedom you'll experience. You want to paint your door red? Nope. How about adding on a Four Seasons room? Maybe not. Get it cleared with your HOA board. Missed cutting your lawn last week because you were out of town? That could result in a fine. You are certainly not free to do whatever you'd like on or to your property, and that can rub people the wrong way. And finally, the last con is the potential politics that can come into play. If you happen across a particular neighbor or HOA board member the wrong way, that person might have the ability to make your life really difficult. But calling out or enforcing obscure rules, pettiness can be a tool for revenge, and the HOA becomes the vehicle. Is the paint on your mailbox chipping? Is your grass 1 inch too long? Did you leave your trash can out for an extra 30 minutes last week? Any vengeful neighbor or board member could potentially cite you for these infractions. Legal challenges are not uncommon. However, the ability and willingness of the HOA to enforce any rules is totally outside your control. I've been there. Having said all that, the majority of people who belong to an HOA consider it a positive experience. Over 90% of people have a good relationship with the board members. The devil is in the details, so be sure to read the fine print several times so you know exactly what you're getting into. Got an HOA story of your own? I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below or reach out directly. I've been involved in 3 different HOAs for a house in the Atlanta suburbs, a condo in Miami Beach, Florida, and another condo in Midtown Atlanta. Although they all basically function the same way, they were like night and day. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween! Instead of talking about great costumes or how to decorate your home for this scary holiday, I thought I'd spend a few minutes talking about the all-time worst things I've been given when trick-or-treating. After all, getting great candy is one of the best parts of Halloween. So if you're welcoming trick-or-treaters this year, keep in mind what your little visitors may not want you dropping into their bags. The last thing anyone wants is for the entire neighborhood to be talking about what they gave out for Halloween. Keep those lottery tickets, cigarettes, and tiny bottles of liquor you bought on the airplane for yourself, and spare the embarrassment. Number 5, wax lips. Every year some dude tells me these aren't candy and I shouldn't eat them. And every year I say, look, doctor, I don't tell you how to practice gastrointestinal medicine, so don't tell me how to do my job of researching the food I eat before I eat it. Then, after removing a mass of stuck wax from my intestine, I promise to never eat wax lips again.
until I forget all about it a year from now. We all have lips, and we know what they're for. We don't smear them with chapstick and then try to eat them. Number 4, hard grandma candies. It's very likely that some sweet old lady used her social security check to buy these for all the neighborhood kids. How sweet, but times have changed, old lady. There's also the chance that you're getting these from some hoarder who bought a candy dish at an estate sale and is just dumping on you what was in it. Even grosser. In our house, we use the term grandma to identify a lot of disgusting things like perfume, wallpaper, and anything related to an 80-year-old woman whose taste is locked in time. Everyone loves grandma, just not her hard candies. Accept them with a smile, but then throw them in the trash later. Number 3, candy corn. Unlike corn on the cob, which everyone loves, this type of corn is extremely divisive. On one side, you have people who believe it's too sweet, has the texture of coarse wax, and tastes like a mouthful of high fructose corn syrup. On the flip side, you have liars who pretend to like it because it's the politically correct thing to do. Sometimes they're the same person. To me, candy corn is basically little tiny candles without wicks. You can put them in your mouse's cage to dress it up, but you can never light them to illuminate the place. So what's the point? And the mice won't eat it either. The name is bewildering. It doesn't look like corn. It looks like a monster's teeth with flames painted on them. That's right. Number 2, Necco wafers. These have been disgusting children since James Polk was president, and I don't even know who that is, so it must have been 1,000 years ago. Earlier this year, the factory in Revere, Massachusetts announced that it was closing, and generations of Halloween enthusiasts began celebrating. Be glad you live in a world where no future children run the risk of putting one of these dusty things into their mouth only to learn what chalk actually tastes like. If you want to eat chalk, then just eat chalk. Yuck. And, drumroll please, number 1, anything that is not candy. Pretzels, pennies, fruit snacks. I understand your thought process. You want to participate, but you think candy is bad for kids, so you go the nutritional route. Halloween is about gorging on sugary candy until you get sick. Nutrition is not its middle name. And if you're thinking of handing out toothbrushes, you might be a dentist. Just know that discarded plastic toothbrushes given out on Halloween contribute more volume to the floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean than plastic straws do. Just kidding. But if you keep passing out toothbrushes, you're contributing to the world's insurmountable trash problem. Candy is simply eaten with no negative impact to the environment. It's that simple. Hope this was helpful in driving your Halloween handout decisions this year. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.